In my research with high-performing folks and folks whose job is to take care of their people, the number one across the board when they get themselves in trouble, whether it's psychologically, spiritually, mentally, whatever, it's because they've stopped listening to a close group of people, mentors, friends. Who do you go to? You got a group of people that you trust that you can just lay it all out there for?
I do. And by the way, John, for me, like if someone were to ask me, and if you would go listen to the last 20 business interviews I've done, I have said this exact same thing to all of them. My biggest life lesson is you become who you surround yourself with. And so I am so conscious of community. In fact, when before I married Chelsea, I knew how important a spouse was. And so I prayed to God. I said, God, would you send me a wife who is mentally stimulating, physically breathtaking, and spiritually just on fire for you? So like I was so conscious of like knowing the person I'm going to spend the most time with. I wanted to be a woman who wanted to be a world changer and just a great mom and a great and God brought that person along for me. So that's one. Number one is Chelsea. Number two is my business partner, one of my best friends, Jordan Rubin. So Jordan Rubin, he founded a company many years ago called Garden of Life, sold that, and now we co-founded Ancient Nutrition. He wrote a book called The Maker's Diet. So Jordan is about 6 years older than me. And so like even when I was authoring my first book, Nancy Alcorn, who I know, we know, who runs Mercy Multiplied in Ministry here, I met him through that ministry, and he gave me some really great life advice on publishing a book and starting and growing a business and all those different things. So those are two of the biggest ones. And then I've got a mastermind or a men's leadership group I'm a part of. Got guys like Colt Morton, Dan Sullivan, Andrew East, Dave Tuhel, and some others that I am just very deeply connected to. But I would say from a mentorship standpoint, Jordan, he's at this point, he's one of my best friends, but I still, again, there's been a lot of mentorship he's given me over the years.
Awesome.
And I have some other pastors as well. You have John Bevere, is a friend, and quite a few other pastors that we look to. We actually, for our business, we have our board of directors that's out of California, but then we also have what we call it's called our Kingdom Council. We have a spiritual board where we have 9 pastors sit on our board. We do quarterly meetings with them. They speak both into our life and business. So anyways, I'm glad you asked me because it is a huge, huge part of my life and making sure that I have other people, hold me accountable.
That's awesome. Do you ever have challenges mixing spirituality and business?
Yes, our board. First off, we are super blessed. We have a board of directors that is incredible, and their values are some aligned, some might be a little bit different than ours. So I think in those few areas where they're not completely, we might feel a little different. I think that's a challenge. And the spiritual board we have is very much like, listen, just do what's right in the eyes of God completely. And the other board is a little bit more, let's toe the line and just be safe. And so I think that, for the most part, there have been challenges, but I think for us, we have navigated them with the best, wisdom we could. And so I don't know if I have a great answer there. I'll just say, but there are challenges as a business because myself and Jordan both have very, very strong faith-based values. And there are marketing campaigns. People want you to do certain times and months of the year and other things. And we decide that, hey, you know what? The marketing campaign, the sort of injustice, those sort of things we're going to fight. We're going to do things our way, that way we feel biblically. I'll give you an example of this and hope this is okay to talk about. We had when earlier in the year, there's a Black Lives Matter. And I think a lot of people wanted us to go and we were getting messages pounding us daily, go and support this organization. And we said, you know what? Number one, give us a day to pray and talk it through with Jordan and I and our company president. And we said, you know what? We want to be about fighting social injustice. We want to be about doing good in the world and transforming lives. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to start a scholarship and fund children in the African American community getting a better education, do these initiatives. We're going to change the way we hire. So we made all of these changes. We got criticism maybe because we didn't have a certain post on Instagram, but we said we want to be the sort of people that are fighting So I'm just giving you an example of we are very conscious of we want to be a light to the world. We want to have an impact, but we want to do it in the way that Jesus would have done it.
It's transformative.
Exactly. Not the way that, because here's what most people do today. They're like, we just want to look good. We're not going to actually do anything but we want to look good. And that's what you see when you see all of these celebrities and these people out there talking about certain things. They're doing almost nothing.
Gotcha.
And so I just, we want to be the change.
And let that change be represented in, like, your company will look different, right? And your neighborhoods will look different, and the people you come in contact will look different, right?
Right.
That's fantastic, man. So when it comes to food, movement, healthy living, I'm going to ask you a trick question first, and then we'll get to the real. What is something that would surprise people that you are militant about with your new child? And what would surprise somebody that you're a lot more lax with your kid?
Sure. Couple things. One, so I used to be under the impression, this is another example where I'm wrong, where I've been wrong, that everything I eat should be perfect. Like and before I met Chelsea, she would tell you, she softened me up a little bit. Yeah. Trips to Italy and that sort of thing helped too, where it's like, hey, I'm in Tuscany. It's like, I can't not have pizza and gelato right now. But so that being said, like, we actually give her foods that we know she's going to be exposed to. We give her, as she's growing, we give her a little bit of gluten. We give her some dairy. We give her certain products that if she was doing in large amounts, she may have a reaction or an intolerance to, but that we know, like, we our bodies are created, we actually should strengthen our bodies through getting these micro exposures.
Stress response, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we actually really do that with Arwen, to where we're giving her certain things in small doses to naturally help support and strengthen her immune system. So that's one thing we absolutely do.
So that's you at a restaurant, and there's I don't know, I'm just making something up, but it's when people come by and see my daughter eating a piece of, like, a cheese pizza, it's and nobody's gonna die.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and here's the other thing I found: when you go to a place like Italy and some of the areas of the world that have the longest lifespan, even Japan, that they're not eating perfect. The biggest thing is actually low stress and healthy relationships.
I was gonna say, they're not psychotic about it.
Yeah. Now they move, but they're not lifting weights. They're riding bicycles. They're walking. They're swimming. They're gardening. They're doing those things, and they're eating very clean. But then they're once or twice a week, they're having a vacation meal. They're having a couple glasses of wine. They're having a little too much sugar on occasion. But it's not every day. It's just sort of sprinkled in. It's not it's not the dominant part of the way they eat.